Welcome to today's episode, everyone. For those of you just joining the podcast, my name is Marvin Fuentes, and I am the founder of Fountain. We specialize in helping businesses work smarter and scale with intention. Today, I am joined by Jack Decker. Jack, if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for having me on. I'm a lawn care and landscape business owner here in Charlottesville, Virginia. We started about 2019, May of 2019, and I started just myself and grown it up. Got about 18, 20 employees now. I'm mostly focusing on commercial and residential lawn care, landscape maintenance, year-round maintenance, snow plowing, all of that. Some landscape installs, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Nice. And what year did you start that in?
May of 2019.
Got it. Okay. And what made you take the leap to start a business?
Yeah, so I'd been doing some lawn mowing just on the side as a high schooler and in college, just try to make some extra money. I enjoyed the work. I enjoyed the entrepreneur aspect of it, but it was nothing very serious. And I didn't really know what I wanted to do in college. I was there pretty much just playing baseball. Had no idea what I wanted to do, no career path, nothing. And in November of my sophomore year of college, I was getting plenty of inquiries, work demand for leaf removal, leaf cleanup, stuff like that. I was going to be home for about 4 days and I wanted to book as much work as possible. And I was getting a lot of work coming in. So I kind of looked into it a little bit and realized that this is something I could do full time, 12 months out of the year. So that night, I just decided that's what I'm going to do. And I finished school and went straight home, right to work, day one, and haven't stopped since.
What was probably your biggest unexpected challenge in the first year?
The biggest unexpected challenge in the first year, probably figuring out what exactly I wanted to do, what services exactly I wanted to do, because landscaping is you could go so many different directions. You could go the direction of landscape install, bunch of big planting jobs. You could go the direction of patios and retaining walls. You could go the direction of lawn care itself, fertilization, weed control. And these are all completely separate industries within the lawn care landscaping worlds. The challenge for me was kind of figuring out which direction I wanted to go, what I liked, what I didn't like, what made sense business wise, and kind of feeling that out. So
So,
I did a lot of everything starting out.
and now what do you do more so?
So now it shrinks almost every single year. Now it's mostly 12-month year-round maintenance. So starting in the spring, early spring, we'll do the mulching, pruning, seasonal cleanups, into mowing, aeration and seeding, which is right now in the fall, leaf cleanups, snow. It's pretty compacted into like less than 10 services now. And it's getting smaller every year, which I like.
How come?
The services itself, I mean, are getting smaller, so it's just easier to scale because you're doing less. It's less complications. It's way easier to train. And then with this style, if you keep your employees, they've done the job already. So that makes it a lot easier too, because they do the same work the year before, and it's just very repetitive, very easy to scale and bring people on and train them. And this is all we do. We don't, if someone new comes in, I can train them on a few things. They don't have to be an expert in masonry and retaining walls and patios or need an expensive license to spray fertilizer. Just keeping it as simple as possible is a big key for me.
Got it. Okay. And that's with the intention to just do more of that work.
Exactly.
Okay.
Dial in the services and then just go deep on that. Try to get as much of that as possible.
Got it. Okay. What do you think has been the hardest business decision you made so far?
Going kind of back to what I was talking about in about maybe year two or three after I had grown a little bit, I did a year or a year and a half of hardscaping, which is like patios, retaining walls, some stonework, and that it felt connected to the landscaping. It would come up every now and then, and I really liked the work. The work was really cool, but it's just a completely different business model. I had people that were just doing that. I had a full-time hardscaping crew doing patios every week, every couple of weeks. And I decided to scratch that whole division and just go into the maintenance. And that was a really hard decision because I really liked those guys. They were there to do that. They were there to work on patios and retaining walls and do stonework. And they were really enjoying it. And I enjoyed the work, it just wasn't fitting in with the rest of the business. So I had to scratch that division. So that was a hard decision. That was hard, but I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I did it.
How long ago was that you made that decision?
That was 2022, probably 22 or 23. I can't
Got it.
remember, but this wouldn't be my advice starting out. I don't know. It depends. I would say someone starting out, maybe play a little bit and see what you like. If you gravitate towards something specific, if there's a wide range of something you can do, like landscaping, for example, if you really like patios and you don't like cutting grass, or if you really like fertilizing and you don't like patios, play around with it a little bit and see where it takes you, see what you really like.
So you would say that that was probably being a bottleneck to your business at the moment?
Yeah,
Okay.
it takes a lot of time. Just the whole process takes a ton of time. It's a completely different business if you
Yeah.
think about it.
Yeah. So now what is your biggest bottleneck currently now that you got rid of that?
Hmm, that's a good question. It might be me. It might it might be me. The way I have it set up, I've got myself and an assistant, and then I've got about five, six crews and really good crew leaders. And I don't have a lot of management underneath me, in between me and the crew leaders, which is good on overhead, but it can be hard to manage sometimes. So maybe the bottleneck would be management positions, but the way it's going now, it's I can scale this way still and I can still grow. We grow every single year. It might be me, it might be management position would be the bottleneck right now. So that would be the next step.
Got it. Okay. Well, how would you compare what's the better decision for you? Do you wanting more free time or well, what are you looking to get out of management?
I think that would allow me to scale at a faster rate and add more crews at a faster rate. But we've been the same. We've been in the same ballpark, growing every year for the last few years. I took a few years to really hone in on profit and make sure we're really, really profitable. So
Hmm.
I've been doing that for the last about 2 years, 2.5 years, 3 years. Been just growing naturally
Yeah.
and just really focusing on profit.
But with that being said, which part of your business is costing you the most money on a daily basis?
What do you mean by that?
What are you spending the most amount of money on besides labor? Are your biggest
Oh,
chunk?
besides labor, labor's a big one. And I try really hard to keep the overhead down. Besides labor,
Or maybe something costing you the most amount of time?
okay, yeah, that's a good one. Maybe I would say time, probably new new
Okay.
estimates and bids and management with the customers, I would
Do you
say.
do that?
I do a lot of that. My assistant helps out a lot of that now, but yeah, I do a lot of that. One thing I started this year, which is actually really good advice, I was talking to another contractor and he said he does all of his quotes via Zoom meeting
Oh,
first. And I was hesitant to that. I was like, I don't know about that, but I put it into action day one and people do it. I mean, if you think about it, everyone's doing Zoom now. So everyone's got it. Even the old people have it and they're
yeah.
happy to do it. It's really free for them. So I have a calendar link that they can just book a time and it's helpful for them. It saves me a lot of time. So I'm working on ways to cut down on a lot of the in-person estimates. And that's been a huge help.
Got it. That's funny. I haven't heard of that one yet, but that's a good
Yeah.
idea. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, and he's really strict. He's like, if they don't have Zoom or if they don't want to do Zoom, I'm not doing it.
That part means you're not a compliant customer anyways.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's funny. Is there any part of your business that feels overwhelming to manage?
The scheduling can feel overwhelming, but I mean, I think that some of that is just part of it because we're an outdoor business, outdoor
Yeah.
and seasonal. So, for example, we have rain tomorrow, so we're going to get some scheduling issues. I wouldn't say issues, but something to deal with. So, I would say scheduling can be hard, but then if you do scheduling right, you can really unlock a ton of profit if you're really strict on your scheduling and really flexible with your scheduling. You can really unlock some profit. So I think that's a huge key to stay on top of.
Can you give me a glimpse of like what the process looked like? I know you said it's going to rain tomorrow, so what are the next steps? What are you considering?
Yeah, so I'm considering the rest of the week for the mowing crews because the mowing crews, my focus is to make sure that they get everything that's done weekly done that week. Because if they miss, for example, a tomorrow's Thursday, so if they miss a Thursday of revenue, that revenue's gone forever. So I want to make sure that they they are getting all their weekly work done. So I'm going to bump stuff up and move some stuff around to make sure that they can get the weekly work done. My landscaping team had a job tomorrow that is going to be a little slow if it's wet. So I need to move that to next week, pull something in, let everybody know, or I won't do that. My assistant will, but let everybody know that we're changing the schedule a little bit because of this rain that was unexpected. So some landscaping jobs are okay to do in the rain, some are not. Some are okay to do when it's wet, some are not.
Yeah.
Some are, yeah, just more sensitive to that.
Yeah. That stuff is really out of your control too. Mother
Yeah.
Nature. Are there any
Yeah.
other areas in the business that you feel like you have least amount of control over?
I've been really fortunate with good employees that have been with me for a long time and not much turnover at all. I've had basically the same team for the last 3 or 4 years, which has
Hmm.
been really, really helpful. So that's taken a lot off of me. Yeah, no, other than that, other than the scheduling part, just again, I have good employees, so they take care of the properties really well. So that takes a lot off of me or whoever has to deal with it.
How do you decide what tasks to delegate?
That's a good question. But a good rule of thumb is if someone can do it, if someone else can do it, I want someone else to do it. So I've over the last few years taken a lot down from what I do, and if it's something that someone else can do, I'll do my best to delegate it so that I'm focusing on really important stuff that's harder to deal with or harder to train or more important and the real needle movers.
Got it. Is there anything that like feels outdated or inefficient maybe that you haven't like changed?
That I haven't changed. I try hard to stay on top of that stuff, like using different softwares and using it, even AI now. If you get a good feel for it, that can really help you out. As far as what I haven't changed yet, that's a good question. I've been looking into doing more tracking on the vehicles.
Mm,
There's some softwares out there you can track the vehicles and it keeps up with the maintenance a lot better. I have a mechanic in-house and he keeps up with it well, but I think that would help him out as well. So outdated stuff, I really do try to stay on top of it as much as possible and pivot when I need to and stay ahead of it for sure.
nice. That's good. Are there any common complaints or issues you hear from customers?
Funny enough, it goes back to the weather. Some people don't quite understand that weather happens and it comes up and we have to deal with it too. That's a common one, and that one gets really annoying. But giving them a good upfront message about it when you're doing the sale or signing them up, like, hey, this
Mm,
is what happens when there's weather. That seems to help. Yeah, yeah. There's scheduling stuff that seems to be a complaint sometimes, but giving them
yeah,
as much information up front helps. Quality of work, again, I've got really good people, so that the quality is held to a high standard. So we don't get a whole lot of complaints about that.
that's good. How do you
Yeah.
find customers?
It's changed over the years. When I was starting out and I didn't have a big budget, I put a lot of work into like door hangers, passing out cards. Door hangers were huge. We still do a ton of door hangers.
Oh yeah.
Having, yeah, door hangers all the time. Not only just on the door, but around here, a lot of the mailboxes have the boxes, the paper boxes. So you can just drive around and do thousands of them. So we do a ton of that. I've got a website. I have a company that handles the SEO, a local company handles the SEO and Google Ads. Not much Facebook paid ads, but staying on top of Facebook, Instagram posts, posting every single day. But SEO is a big one. Having a website is huge. And print marketing like door hangers, or we do mostly door hangers. Those door hangers in the paper boxes is a huge one. I used to do them when I was starting out. I used to do them as much as possible, like once a week, go out for hours and hours and do them. Now we'll do them when we're a little bit slower, want to drum up some work, or we're going into a new service and want to get some more work for it. But yeah, door hangers are huge.
Do you guys do commercial properties?
We do, yeah. That's about 60%,
Oh,
60% of my revenue. So it's mostly commercial, and that's something I'm going a little bit heavier into is more commercial and less residential. In the past, it's been about 50-50, and we're trending towards more commercial. So with that, marketing wise, the website's big, being online with a Google My Business and good reviews, being Facebook seems to work well for that. And just going out and basically cold calling, walking in and introducing yourself. That's been a game changer for commercial. And then you can reach out to certain people, maybe realtors or property management companies to get a foot in the door there.
Got it. Do you work out any deals with realtors to get a foot in the door?
I did a lot early on. It's not my favorite thing to do now, but earlier on when you want or need work, it's a great way to do it. Reach out to realtors. They always have houses that they want to clean up quick and get it done and have it looking good. Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's not my ideal now just because it's usually a one time. It just doesn't really fit my model right now. But yeah, starting now when you want work, that's a great way to go.
In terms of getting leads, the different avenues, is there something that's working out as well as you'd like?
That is working as well as I'd like.
That is,
Oh, that is not. I have not had good luck with yard signs. I've tried that a whole bunch of different times. It's probably my market or area. I just haven't had good luck with them. I haven't had good luck with EDDM, every door direct mailers. So you
hmm,
can pick a zip code and you put the postcards together and UPS hands it out. I hadn't had good luck with that. Again, it might be my market. It might be the fact that it comes in with a whole bunch of different mail. They just slide through it and don't see it. I've gone away from those two, but the core is going to be the website, Google Ads, free Facebook and Instagram posts, and door hangers is going to be the big ones for me.
that do work, right? Got it. Your commercial clients, you said, how do you get most of those?
The majority people, these commercial people, they'll talk back and forth about who they like, who they're using. Word of mouth is some, but you can't really count on that completely. But just walking in, handing them a packet of what you can offer them, and no one does that. I don't think anyone does that. So it really works. Like I've gotten a ton of commercial work just by doing that.
Nice.
It's really helped.
Yeah, I feel like that's phasing out a little bit, but I feel like the
Yeah,
people that are doing it, that's a huge advantage.
it's a huge advantage. Yep.
Interesting. If you could wave a magic wand to instantly improve one customer experience or solve any problem, what would it be?
It's a great question. I would solve a customer experience. Maybe with the customer experience, especially the residential, improve the communication a little bit, keeping them more up to date on the schedule when we're coming, maybe before and after pictures every single time. I do that sometimes, but not every single time. So maybe improving communication would be something I could work on. So thank you for asking me that. I'm gonna get to work on that actually. Now that I'm
Yeah,
thinking about it.
there's automations on that too that can be built off that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. I use Jobber. I don't know if anyone you've interviewed uses Jobber, the CRM,
Not
but
that I heard of.
okay, yeah, it's more popular towards like the landscapers and lawn care people, but I know some gutter cleaning and power washing people who use it, but they have some good automation. So I will be looking at.
Is there anything in particular that keeps you up at night in your business?
There used to be a lot. There used to be a lot. Now it would be making sure, now it would be keeping the team together. The team has been such a blessing to me and they make it so easy on me. Keeping them together is really important, which I have for the last like 3 or 4 years. So it's not something that should worry me much. But having these really all stars in place for so long has been such a blessing. I don't want to lose it. So I do
Yeah.
think about that some. Like if I was to lose X, I'd really have to hire someone quick and train them. And would it be the same? I don't know. And so I do think about that some.
How do you think you can do that? Or how do you think you will do that?
Keeping them happy. Got to keep them happy. Everyone responds to different things. Some people just want more money. If they earn it, give them. Everyone wants more money. Bottom line, but past that, some people react to certain different things. I can think of someone who likes the praise. He likes to be told he's doing a great job. So you got to learn that. And a lot of my guys, they just want a whole lot of work. They have families in other countries, so all they want to do is work and make as much money as possible. So most of them, that's the case. So keeping them happy that way, making sure they know they're doing a good job and they're rewarded for it, and making sure it's a good place to work and they're happy when they come in and they like who they're working with. That's really important.
Yeah.
That was a lesson I had to learn, making sure, especially your all stars, are happy with who they're working with. Because if you think about it, you don't want to work hard all day when someone next to you's on their phone smoking cigarettes. It's just a downer for everybody. Even if you're a hard worker, especially if you're a hard worker. So making sure that they're happy with who they're working with is really important. Now, you don't want to let them run the business, but that is important. That is
Yeah,
important to keep in mind.
absolutely. It's a good point you brought up there. Have you ever felt like your business was plateauing? And if so, what made you feel that way?
Yeah, maybe a few times in like in the summertime, I have felt that way, but then when I look into the numbers, it isn't the case. It's easy to feel that way when everything is going well. Like when the schedule's on, there's work. It can kind of feel that way because you're sort of left with nothing to do. But if the schedule's full, everyone's working, everything's going according to plan, I have found myself thinking about that. Like, okay, I have nothing to do. What I need to be doing something. And I start to think that I am plateauing. But if you really look into it, and compare it to different years, there's always a trend, and it might feel a certain way, but if you have good records and you can look back, there's usually a different story being told. So I've felt that way, but when I dive into the numbers and look at the past years, there's always a trend. So
Yeah.
I've never, acted too hard on that.
Were there any opportunities that you wish you could take advantage of but couldn't?
I don't think so. Not off the top of my head. I've been pretty bold over my years. There's been a few that I got close to taking, and I'm really glad that I didn't, like
Hmm.
buying someone out or going into a new whatever, um, new market, whatever. And I'm glad I didn't. But off the top of my head, I can't think of anything that I've missed the opportunity on. I'm sure I could if I thought a little bit harder, but I've tried to be pretty bold and take action pretty quick when I can.
If you had unlimited resources, what would be the first major change you would make?
Resources as in money, unlimited money.
Yeah.
Well, I would hire. These are great questions. You're making me think. You're making me think of like real action steps to take. So thank you for that. I would
Absolutely.
hire a manager that does all the things that I do day to day. A really good one, a high paid manager. I've made a few offers, but no one's bit my
Mm.
offer yet. So we'll see. I'm gonna keep trying on that. That would be the next step.
How do you look for talent like that? Where do you look?
That's a good question. Someone who's already doing it is one. I've talked to a few guys who have businesses that are, I don't know, maybe doing 200. They know the work really, really well. They know how to deal with customers, but they're not making much money. And that's not to say they're not doing a good job. They're just not really running the business very well. So I
I
think they
see.
would be really good. But someone who's doing it, yeah, I think that would be the key. Someone who's done it at a level like this, or has ran their own business and kind of has the ins and outs of it.
Got it. I see. Okay. How much of your day-to-day work would you say is repetitive or manual?
I would say maybe 70%, 75% would be repetitive stuff that I do every single day, and stuff that probably could be hired out. Maybe half of what I could do, I could hire out easily. And then the rest would be kind of strategic thinking and really planning ahead.
I see. Okay. Are there probably any trends that you currently see in your industry that you plan on implementing?
Yeah, I think in the next probably 5 to 10 years, robotics is going to play a huge part of it. Robotic mowers, I don't know exactly how that's going to affect everything and how efficient it'll be, but eventually it will be, which would be pretty cool. So robotics, I'm definitely keeping my eye on that. AI stuff, like as much as you can use, that's more of the back end, like administrative stuff and all the back end stuff, not as much labor, but I'm trying to keep an eye on that and try to use that and learn about that as much as possible. But big picture, I think robotics in the next 5 to 10 years is going to play a big part in all of this.
Interesting. If there's something on the back end that you think cannot be automated, or probably won't
No,
be.
maybe, I mean, I think everything can be automated, but you might have better chances at landing jobs if you're doing sales as a person. So maybe the sales process, a lot of that can be automated and is, but having a personal touch on that's going to help. I know customer service, like dealing with complaints and questions, I automate a ton of that. Having a personal touch on top of automation is always important. HR stuff, if you have to deal with employees, I think having a personal touch on that is good. But yeah, most of this stuff can be automated, like you said.
Is there something you wish that could be automated in your business?
Scheduling, connecting the scheduling with weather,
Mm, I see.
automating
That's a good one.
scheduling. make it change with the local weather. That would be huge. Just everything I did today to account for this rain day, if my schedule was connected to the weather forecast, this is a stretch. I just thought about this just now with
That's
your
a good
question.
one.
And then when snow comes, having much better prediction on that,
Yeah.
that would be huge. I just thought about that with your question.
I haven't heard that one
Yeah.
yet. That's a good one.
Yeah, it's like my two
You
biggest
might
issues: the scheduling and weather.
you
To
might have an
connect
app
that.
on your hands here.
I know.
If you were to start over, what are three things you would change?
While I think about that, can I tell you the three things that I would definitely do again? I would keep an importance on the brand, like making sure that the trucks are lettered in a uniform, even if it's just you. Like I did this when it was just me, having the truck in the uniform and we wear red, having a red shirt on every single day. So branding, even if it has to be cheap, like just red shirt, just a color, just keeping the brand kind of on point if you can. That making sure marketing is a top priority. No matter how busy you are, I think marketing's huge. And figuring out what it is that you want to do, figuring out the niche, if you're going into a niche or just a certain direction, figuring that out as fast as possible. So those are three things I would definitely do. And that's services and your market area. So if you're going to stay in a radius, just dive deep into there. So those are three things that I would definitely do again. If I wanted to change something starting out, I don't know, maybe kind of what I was talking about earlier about trying out different things, but that there's pros and cons to that. Like I figured out what I didn't want to do by doing it and making those mistakes.
Yeah.
I think hiring, like one side of me says I wish I hired faster, but at the same time I was able to work. I worked solo for about 9 months and I was able to learn a lot of lessons cheaply, just me being the downfall of it.
Yeah.
I don't get paid, which is fine, whatever. But if I can't pay an employee, that's a problem.
Yeah.
So I waited like 9 months. As soon as I hired him, I thought, oh, I should have hired him faster. But on the flip side, I made a lot of mistakes when it was just me, and I'm glad I did that when it was just me. I could have gone faster in the beginning if I took on some smart debt. But then again, on the flip side, it was good for me to save up cash and not have any payments and pay for everything cash. So there, in my experience, there's two sides to all the mistakes and things I would do over. There's just two sides of it,
I see.
if that makes
What?
sense.
Yeah, absolutely. What is your goal 6 to 12 months from now?
6 to 12 months from now, I would like to go heavier on the commercial side and tighten up the residential side. So whether that's adding a crew or just shrinking down the residential stuff and making it super, super profitable and tighten up the area. That way we can grow the commercial side. That's what I'm focusing on right now. So growing at the same pace as far as revenue and people, and then growing the commercial side and shrinking down the residential side just a little bit, or keeping it the same and just having it tighter so we can get it done faster and service more commercial customers.
How do you think you can do that?
I've already started planning for it, tightening up the routes as much as possible, letting go of a good amount of commercial clients. And I think what I'm going to try to do is pass them off to a few local lawn care people and try to keep the add-on work, like the mulching and the trimming and leaf removal stuff. So if I can keep that and get rid of the lowest profit and biggest time consuming task, which is lawn mowing, that would be huge. So if I could shrink down the routes, which would shrink down the time, which would give us more time to do commercial, then I could go and acquire as much commercial work as possible.
I see. Okay. Are there any pain points you're currently facing?
We're in it's almost October and we're going into the little bit of the slower season, which is going to be the fall and winter. Just balancing the workload that we have now, getting ready for the slower time is kind of hard right now because I could hire for sure some more people to really max out this last couple of months of
Hmm.
work. But then I've got to think about the slow time and I keep everybody on year round. So kind of balancing that right now with the season change is kind of a struggle because part of me wants to grow right now, but we're at the end of the year. So just keeping the foot on the gas in the fall and winter is really important, but just balancing out this end of the year, as much work as we have coming in with the crew that I'm going to keep through the winter time. So it goes back to scheduling. It goes back
Got
to
it.
scheduling.
One last question for you. I don't want to take up too much of your time. What's one piece of advice you would give to somebody just starting out?
In my industry,
Yes.
I would say market really hard. Go balls to the wall on marketing. If you have to do it cheap, do it cheap. If you have to knock on doors, get over your fear, knock on doors. You have to have work coming in. And I think anytime that you're not spent working, producing work, you have to be out doing marketing. It's so important. And in my industry, especially, a lot of companies don't do it and they don't stay on top of it. So if you can do that, it really gives you an advantage. And starting out, people, especially residential, people want to give the new person, a young guy, a chance for sure. So take advantage of that and be in people's faces and market really hard. I think that is a huge thing, a huge lever to pull, and it's going to give you a huge advantage. So stay on top of your marketing. If you're not working, producing work, you need to be marketing, doing something. There's free ways to do it. Just go crazy with it. I did, and I still do. That's given a huge advantage.
Jack, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking on this
Absolutely. Thanks
call.
for having me on.